evening, everyone. I hope you are doing well on this Thursday afternoon. I had a song playing in my head, My Life in the Sunshine, because the sun is shining today. It's a little cool in Tennessee, but the sun is out, and that's making me feel good. I was out early this morning in my garden, talking to my plant and looking at the leaves and the buds and all the things shooting up from the dirt and all the things forming, and just made me feel good down in my soul. So I hope that on this last Thursday of April that you have found some inspiration during the month outside of all the chaos and the madness that is going on around us and sometimes within us. I hope that you have found some type of solace, something you can, run to that gives you a little joy and a whole lot of hope. Stay inspired. I always talk about pushing your compassion past yourself, the limits of yourself. So stay in tune and vibrate on the level of pushing out more compassion. This last Thursday of the month is our last Herbal Happy Hour till May, and we will move to once a month. These Herbal Happy Hours have been extremely fun, and I want to thank everyone who has tuned in to see how to use just some basic herbs in some really, really fun and inspiring drinks. For those of you who are drinking, or for those of you who are drinking, either way, a mocktail or a good cocktail with some fresh herbs, some common and everyday kitchen herbs will hopefully help inspire you to, be a creator support. Create something, make your drink, make something, be inspired, make some food or something, do something. I like to make herbal drinks, among other things, herbal drinks. Tonight's recipe is called Let's Chill, and I named it back in I don't know, when did that song come out by Teddy Riley and Guy? I think that came out in the early 90s, maybe, like early 90s. I was a wee lad. So I named this drink Let's Chill, inspired by that song, because it has a little fire, but then it has a little cool. So, and at the time, it was reflective of my life, the fire and then a little cool. So let's chill. I have not made this drink before tonight. I have not made this drink in years. So these Herbal Happy Hours are definitely taking me down memory lane. They used to entertain every Sunday when I lived overseas. Every Sunday, my home was full of family. They were friends, but family that I've made over the 8 years that I lived in Amsterdam. So I entertained on the bougiest of levels when it came to drinks. And this was one of the Germans' favorites. We had some German friends who were members of our band, and they love this drink. And they always used to say, "Little Mouse," that's me, "can you make this drink? Can you make the Let's Chill for us?" And I would say, "Okay, I'll make it." So I used to have this by the batchful. So if you are tuning in for the first time tonight for the Herbal Happy Hour, I am your host, Angelique Sobande Greer. I'm the visionary and founder of the Institute School of Herbalism and Holistic Health, the oldest African-American herbalism school in the South. 25 years now. I'm very proud of that. Thank you to my great-grandmother for the inspiration and for the labor of love. Also the visionary and founder of Sacred Waters Retreat for Women of Color and the annual Afro-Botany Immersion Conference and Certification Program in sunny Costa Rica every August. Right now, I wish I was in Costa Rica, sunny, and wish it was August, so we can push past all this craziness and madness that's going on. That's a sidebar. Tonight's drink, we're going to get started. If you have already seen the recipe, you should know two things. We are working with chilies, cilantro, and cucumber tonight. Most people would go, "I don't know how that's going to turn out in the drink," but I'm here to tell you, it's going to be fire, as young people say. fire, Mom. It's going to be fire. It really is going to be fire. Actually, this drink is not going to be as hot as you think it is, unless you like it spicy or your guests like it spicy. Then you can make it a little spicier. If you're making it for yourself and you know your palate, then you can tune it up or tune it down. But if you're making it for guests, I would suggest that you just go light. Just give it a little kick on the backside because the cilantro and the lime will cool it down, but you don't want to set anybody ablaze. And sometimes hot in equals hot out, depending on people's digestive system. So you want to go a little easy on this drink if you are preparing it for guests. This is a great drink to kick off springtime and definitely summertime. Late evenings, sitting around the fire pit, you're chopping it up with your family, you're chopping it up with your friends, you're chopping it up with your girlfriends. It's a great drink to have. Goes well with cigars too. I would know that because I'm a cigar connoisseur. So let's chill. Let's get started. I'll tell you exactly what you need. Tonight's drink is going to need a few different elements. So of course you're going to need your alcohol. So my alcohol of choice is gin, but you can use vodka in this particular drink if you are so inclined to. So we are working with New Amsterdam because I particularly like the New Amsterdam brand. There are thousands of gins and vodkas out there on the market. Choose yours. The only thing that I suggest that you not choose is like Taka vodka. It's cheap. Or clear moonshine. Don't use those. You're not gonna do her any justice. She's not gonna like that. Like I've been telling all of my guests these last 3 weeks or 4 weeks, these herbs, they're gentle. Go easy with her. She's a seductress, cilantro. She's a seductress. She likes really good top shelf liquor. So I prefer the New Amsterdam brand, gin and vodka. So you can go either one of these brands, doesn't make a difference. But tonight for this drink, we're going to use the New Amsterdam gin. Oh, I will say, if you do use the vodka, make sure it is a smooth one because this drink has the chili component and the cilantro component. If you use a vodka that's cheap and strong, it's going to be a nasty drink and it's going to burn like ought to be damned. All right? So you don't want that to happen. So go easy if you're going to use vodka, if vodka is your choice. Make sure it's some good stuff, smooth going down so it can be smooth coming out. You don't want it to come out on the other side, rough, on the rough side of the mountain. Toilet, that is. Okay, all right, so we're going to use the gin. You're also going to need, you can go fresh or you can go canned. You can go green or you can go red. Chilies. So you just need some chilies. This is a Kroger brand. This is a green chili. Tonight we're going to be using a jalapeno chili. You can use a habanero chili. You can use any type of chili your heart's desire. Now just remember that if you're making this drink for guests, make sure that the chili that you're using is not going to set them ablaze. You do not want to disrupt anybody's digestive system with your fancy, snooty, bougie cilantro drink, right? Hashtag liquor bougie. You don't want to do that. So make sure that you're using a chili that's compatible for most of your guests. If you're going to use a chili that you like particularly, then just set that aside and make that for yourself because you don't want to burn anybody's butt with your chili. They're going to be like, what kind of host are you? Butt burning, everything going down. Tastes good in here and down here. The next thing you need after your chili is you're going to need some fresh lime juice. I like to, of course, squeeze my lime juice. So this is a quarter cup is definitely enough for these two. Lime juices, it's random because you may need more or less depending on the person's taste. So because I'm only making these for me and my husband, I can kind of gauge what his taste is after almost 30 years. I know what he likes, especially when it comes to this lime juice thing. So if people are not prone to more tart, then you want to go light on the lime juice. Just add a little bit. So your fresh lime juice. And then the two big runner-ups are going to be, let me go this way, your cilantro. Now listen, she looks a little sick because I had to pick from her to make this syrup for this drink. She doesn't like this. She's not happy about this. She's like, where you took all my sisters and brothers, where did they go? So I had to apologize first. This particular plant hasn't gone in the ground yet, so I used her. And I'm going to say, depending on how many people you're going to make this drink for, is going to determine how much cilantro you're going to need. If you have a plant that's yielding lots of the flower itself, of the leaf itself, and it's bushy, then you can easily get a bunch. When I say a bunch, because I'm not measuring this this herb, you want to have a nice healthy bunch of leaves to be able to make your simple syrup. So if you have a plant that's not yielding a lot, like this one, what I had to do is I had to make up for it by getting some cilantro from the grocery store. So just so you know, it's okay to use cilantro from the grocery store. If you're not growing your own, it's all right. It's perfectly all right. Just be kind to her. Let her know that you're going to use her for a great purpose, okay? And that's these drinks, these mocktails, and these drink cocktails. You will need if you're going to use a bunch is going to make about this much simple syrup. About this much simple syrup. I don't know if you can see this really, really good in the camera. It is tinted light green, and that's because it is at its full potential. Simple syrups are really, really easy to make, and you can infuse anything. Making a simple syrup, what I like about simple syrups, and I've said this on the past shows, is that once you have the simple syrup, you can use the simple syrup not only in drinks, but you can use it on food, you can use it for fruit. It makes a real good addition to your daily, or maybe not daily, depending on what the flavor is or the herb that you've made simple syrup. But it does make it a good addition to maybe the way you're eating or possibly what you're drinking. So simple syrups are good. Get you a nice bottle to store it in. You can put a label on it if you can't remember what's in it, and just put it in your fridge, and it's already there. With the simple syrup, what you want to do, the instructions for this particular one. Now remember, this is based on how many guests you're going to have, or if you are going to store this. My recipe is 1 cup of water, 1 cup of sugar. I just use plain old white sugar. If you are you have a pre-existing health condition and sugar is not your thing, diabetes, then you may want to use a sugar substitute. I have not tried making this particular simple syrup using honey, like I have with other drinks in the past. But I'm sure that you could use honey as your replacement for your white sugar. You could also use turbinado, and I always say I never tried stevia making a simple syrup. I don't even know how that will come out. So if you're good in the kitchen, or if you've ever made a simple syrup using stevia, I'd like to know how that came out. So 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of water, and you want to make sure that is at a rolling boil. So get the water rolling first and boiling. Put your sugar in. Stay there with the pot. I need you to babysit the pot. Don't go off texting, answering the phone, watching Netflix, doing other stuff. Stay in the kitchen. Babysit the pot, because the sugar, once you add it, it's going to dissolve really, really quick. This is going to require you to stir it rapidly. So pour your sugar in, stir it up, turn it down to a medium simmer. And then, because these leaves of the cilantro plant are so delicate, you don't want to boil these. Actually, you never really want to boil delicate leaves. You just want to kind of simmer them. You always want to boil roots and barks and things that are a little bit berries, things that are a little bit harder, have a harder shell. When you're talking about herbs and you're working with the leaves, you always want to be more delicate with the process of extracting the medicinal properties of that plant. So make sure that you are simmering the plant. Don't rush the process. If you're in a rush, come back, do it tomorrow. Rushing is always going to make a bad product, and the energy is just going to be off. So with the pot on simmer, go ahead and get your bunch of cilantro, add the cilantro to the pot. You can then turn it, after you add it, then turn it down again to maybe 2. If 2 is not too high on your particular stove unit. So once you do that, put your lid on and then give it about 5 to 10 minutes because it won't take long. Then turn it off and then just let it sit. You can let this sit. This took about 30 minutes of steep time to get this color, and it should be still kind of liquidy, but this is definitely a syrup. If you can see this live and in person, this is definitely a syrup base. All right. So once that's done, you want to get your strainer, preferably metal. I was telling the group last week on our Herbal Happy Hour that when you're working with plants, I prefer, and I was always taught to use stainless steel items such as bowls and funnels and strainers, and that's because you don't want any of the plastic to take away the medicinal properties or the value of what you're making or pouring. You don't want the plastic absorbs that. So the stainless steel works best. So get your stainless steel funnel, your jar that you're gonna use to store your syrup, and just strain that off and pour the rest of that in here. Now, of course, these few leaves got inside, and I don't mind that. It just really infuses the syrup even more as it sits, because the longer it sits, the better the syrup is going to get. Of course, this syrup was very hot when I poured it, and so I immediately, because of time, I just immediately put it into the freezer. Now, I didn't let it freeze, but I did let it chill, because you do want your syrup to either be room temperature or chill when you get ready to mix it into your glass. So that's how to make a simple syrup. Remember, you can make a simple syrup for anything. This particular syrup, I've also been giving recipe tips. So this particular syrup works well if you are a red meat eater. This would be good with in the summertime with the burgers. You can also, veggie burgers, this goes really, really well with. And people go, well, what do you do with the syrup? Well, here's what you do. When you're seasoning your meat, you take a teaspoon of the syrup and you add it to the seasoning. And then you just drizzle that on your patty. Or you can put it, if you're making homemade burgers, you can just add it to the patty or the mixture itself. 1 teaspoon for about 3 to 4 burgers works really well. You can taste a little bit of the flavor depending on what you're using to season it with. This cilantro also works really well with fish, particularly trout is good. This is good with trout, and it is good with halibut. Yeah, those are some other uses that you could use the simple syrup with. All right. The next thing you're going to need is cucumbers. Now, listen, these cucumbers, you can get them anywhere. If you're growing them in your garden, of course, you want to get your own cucumbers. And if you want to peel them, you can. I like to leave my peel on when I'm doing this particular mixture for the drink, because it just adds so much more flavor. Of course, make sure you wash your cucumber off, no matter where you're getting it from. If you have a little veggie scrubber, you can do that. Some people like to spray theirs with a little vinegar solution. You can do that. I just rinse mine off and pray while I'm doing it, and everything usually checks out just fine. So in this particular bowl, I have already muddled cucumber and my jalapenos. Now, I'm going to give you a trick. Take your cucumber, slice them up thin, because you're going to have to muddle them. When I say muddle, I'm talking about using a mortar, or you can use the back of of a spoon. You could even put this into a food processor if you wanted to. You don't want to make it super, 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 super fine. You still want to have a little consistency. I hope that you can see this, and you want to make sure that the juice, you still have the juice, because the juice is good in the drink. Let's see if you can see that. I hope you all can see that. You want to still have this consistency. So if you put it into your food processor or your high-powered blender, if you have a Ninja or something like that, don't make it so fine that it's just like it pulverizes it totally. You still want to have a little fluff to it. Okay, so the trick to this is slicing your cucumber the day before, or maybe the day of your event, or whenever you're going to make the drink, a few hours before, and then putting that in a freezer bag, the cucumber slices, and freezing it. Just let it freeze. Then once it's frozen, take it out, because now you know cucumber is a water-based vegetable. So now you've got all the water from the cucumber, and it's in its frozen state. Now when you take it out of the bag and you put it into the bowl or your food processor, it's going to have even more water in it, and that's going to be great mixing with your choice of chilies. So I took my cucumber. I did like 10 or 12 slices, thin slices, and I mixed this with I used one of these cans, and I used about a quarter of this can for this particular mixture. Okay, a quarter of a can. Remember this also. If you're only making drinks for a small group of people, or maybe one, think about ways that you can continue to use the mixture. Remember, I said this works well with meat. This also works well with fish. This could also be a great topping for a salad. Now, it is a little watery, so you want to make sure that you either drain some of the juice off before you add it to your salad as a topping. This would also work well in a nice summer coleslaw mix. This would be a good mix, give you a little bit of pop and flavor. If you're going to use coleslaw, if you want to make your coleslaw a little bit different, you want to put a spin on coleslaw, you could use this mixture in your coleslaw mix. So, of course, add your other stuff, but this would be really good in coleslaw. Another thing, this is also a great leftover mix for pasta salad. That's a good spring and summertime dish to make for your family or for yourself, if you're a family of one. Or if you are, you need to take a dish to an event, you can make a nice pasta salad and do this particular mix and add that to the pasta salad as well. These are really, really good springtime, summertime recipes. So let's get started. So the first thing we want to do is we are going to take this mixture. Now look, I have leftover syrup, right? I've got leftover syrup. I'm going to use this leftover instead of what's in the bottom. I'm going to save this and put this in my fridge. I'm going to use the leftover syrup from the pot because it didn't fit in the bottom. This is what I'm going to use for the drink. So when you see me pouring, it's the same thing, okay? I just had to put it in an overflow container. All right? So the first thing we want to do is I forgot my spoon, but I'm gonna improvise. First thing we want to do is make sure you have the glasses that you want to use. You want to add your base to the mix first, which is going to be your cucumber chili mix. So with this spoon that I'm using is it's like an appetizer spoon. You can use a bigger spoon if you like. I particularly like to use the smaller appetizer spoons for these martini glasses because, like I said earlier, the martini glasses they don't have that much depth. They're not very deep at all. So you don't want to overdo it with your base if your glass is not that deep. So I'm doing 2 of these appetizer spoonfuls in each glass. And then going to take my simple syrup, cilantro simple syrup, and this is a shot pour for those of you who are not liquor adept. This is the shot pour, and this first side is a single shot, and this second side is a double shot. So remember, because of the glass I'm using, martini glass, I'm going to do a single shot. You would also do a single shot if you were serving to people who have pre-existing health conditions. I mean, I don't know if you're doing this for guests, how you would know that unless you ask. I would advise you, if you're going to actually make this drink, to ask, because the slightest, this is pretty sugary. So you don't want to set anybody, they're drinking alcohol and the extra sugar. You don't want anybody having a diabetical attack on your watch, right? You don't want them having an attack at all. So you may want to check in with whoever you're serving. And I don't know, outside of using the honey and the other sugar substitutes, I don't know which other way you could probably substitute for making a simple syrup. I don't know, like if you're diabetic, what could you do? I don't know. That would be something that would be interesting to look up. What kind of drinks and mocktails and cocktails could you stir up for people who have diabetes? Maybe people who have diabetes shouldn't be drinking. I don't know. Sidebar. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Okay, so back to our shots. So you want to do a single shot of simple syrup. Not like that. You want to do a single shot of simple syrup. Now I'm going to tell you that my husband does not like the taste of cilantro. He never has. Never will. He doesn't like it. He says it tastes like soap. And there are a lot of people that I've come across in my life that say that cilantro tastes like soap to them. And believe it or not, cilantro does have some soapy constituents in it. I mean, it's not soap, obviously. So if you have a person who doesn't like cilantro, then I would suggest that you go heavier on the lime to kind of dilute a little of the cilantro taste. This is not as strong as, it's strong, but it's not overbearing. And the way you know that it's strong is you simply smell it. Can you smell the cilantro? Is it too strong? Then that means you probably used too much in the steeping process. But this one's not, it's not too bad. So I've added the single shot of simple syrup to each martini glass. And then the next thing is I'm going to push this lime juice over here. The next thing we're going to do is add our Amsterdam original gin. And like I said, this is a martini glass, so we're going to go tonight with a single pour. I feel that's sucker to the brim, though. It's more like a double pour. Now, if you're not a gin drinker and you don't, you're just like, I don't like white liquor, maybe it's because you had the wrong white liquor or clear liquor. Maybe it's because you had some cheap clear liquor. That might be it. Maybe your stomach just does not agree with clear liquor. I prefer dark alcohol, but when it comes to really good top shelf clear liquor, I can adapt. So these are okay. All right, so we're layering this drink, as you can see. All right, the next thing is your lime juice. I'm going to, for the sake of the class, I'm going to use my appetizer spoon because I don't want to make a mess, and I'm going to spoon in a few spoonfuls. Let's go 4 on this. You can eye it yourself. Once you make this drink, you can kind of get a taste and feel of how it needs to be prepared. And then you want to stir this up. This looks more food-based than it does liquor-based. And that's okay. That's all right. Yeah, my husband said it looks like a vinaigrette. And then if you have crushed ice, you can add your crushed ice to this drink, or you can use a shaker. And what I'm going to do tonight is we're going to do it this way tonight. Now you know what's in your serving size, right? So here's what we're going to do. You're going to pour back into your shaker. Add your lid. Shaken, not stirred. Hear that? And then you want to pour back into your glass. Now let's see how we're divvying this up. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on, hold on, hold on. It's coming. It's coming out. It's coming out. So my husband has never had this particular drink from my hands. So far, so good though. These weeks of the Herbal Happy Hour has been pretty good to him. He's had lots of good ratings, and he said, you know, which ones he liked in order. So hopefully this is something that he will also like, and he can add to his repertoire. All right. All right, I think we have all that we can get out of this. And then, if you're bougie and you know it, clap your hands. You want to add your final ingredient, which is your garnish. So tonight I'm garnishing with cucumbers and mandarin oranges because I'm telling you the flavor of this really, really comes out in this drink, and it's cute. It's cute. Why make a drink if you can't make it cute? Oh my gosh. Like, who are you? Where did you come from? Under a rock? What? Like, make the drink cute. You did all this prep work for this nice, cute drink, and you don't make it cute. And listen, the longer that this garnishment sits in this drink, of course, it's going to absorb the flavors of the cilantro, the habanero, or the chilies that you use, and the alcohol. So, and the cilantro. So this makes a really, really good, tasty drink. And then, you know, so for the people who like to slow drink, because I'm a babysitter when it comes to drinks, I like to sip mine. I've seen people take martinis and just drink it like it was a little bottle of water. You're supposed to sip your martini, not drink it so fast. You're supposed to enjoy the moment, like this moment tonight. Herbal Happy Hour, cilantro. The last thing you want to do with this drink, I hope you can see this, and I hope you can see the color. I hope you can see the beauty. I want you to make sure that you tell your consumers, whomever you're making this drink for, that there are going to be things floating around in the drink and your glass is not dirty. Okay? Because maybe they showed up. Maybe they showed up. Who knows? They may have showed up already with drinks in their system, right? And they look down at your glass and it's pretty. And then they see this stuff floating around and they think, she's serving me a dirty glass. No, of course not. I would never do that. It's going to be clean. But let them know, listen, the things that are floating around in your drink, they're vegetables and herbs. Don't worry about it. Just drink the drink. I promise everything will be okay. All right? So, I'm going to go easy. I'm going to go easy. I'm going to go easy. Cheers to my husband. Cheers to all of you. How about you all come up to the bar and I'll make one fresh just for you. How about that? Just for you. Or light and fresh. Light and fresh. Now, I'm going to tell you what this tastes like. It's very limey at the beginning. You feel the habanero on the backside going down, but just enough. It's cool and refreshing on the front, and just a little bit of heat on the backside going down. Yes? Yeah, but it is a great springtime drink. Cheers to all of you out there. Make your life exactly what you need it to be. Manifest on purpose. Do things intentional in your life for yourself and for others. Don't be stuck in the mud about life. Life is going to continue to move on without you, regardless. So make every moment count. Make a drink. Celebrate with friends and family. Celebrate with yourself. Grow to love yourself. That's the best love. What did Whitney say it? No, that was George Benson. He said the greatest love of all is learning to love yourself. And I think that this time period that the earth is doing a reset is a great time for you to learn to love yourself. And you can do that herbally with a drink. Yeah. Cheers, everyone. Take a sip. This is lovely. I do want to say, if you want to make this drink as a mocktail, your substitute alcohol would be, well, it wouldn't be alcohol, it'd just be a substitute, right? Soda water. It's refreshing. You can always substitute these herbal drinks these herbal recipes that I bring to you with soda water, and it becomes an herbal mocktail. You get a little fizz, you still get the value and the pleasure of the drink, but it becomes a mocktail for those who do not drink. So maybe you're having a garden party or you're having a little brunch and you want to serve cocktails and mocktails, this would be the way to do it. Make sure that you distinguish that so that your non-alcoholic drinkers do not consume the drinks that look like they have no alcohol in them. You don't want them leaving tipsy and loose. Or maybe you do want them leaving tipsy and loose. Maybe. Maybe no, don't do that. Okay, all right. So let's push on and talk about the benefits of cilantro. Every week we feature a drink and then we talk about the benefits of the everyday plant. So because we are winding down this Herbal Happy Hour for the beautiful month of April, we are going to touch base with cilantro. But let me take a sip first. Yes. Me likey a lot. So, cilantro. Cilantro is what? What does anybody know anything about cilantro? What would you have to say about cilantro if you had the opportunity to learn something about cilantro? Get on your phones right now or get on your computers or whatever you're not watching this through and Google cilantro and see what you come up with. What do you think the benefits and the medicinal purposes, the medicinal value of cilantro could be on the body? Remember, I always tell you that plants know exactly what to do in the body. It's, they know how to integrate themselves within the human body. It's humans that do not know how to integrate themselves with plants. So what is it about cilantro that is therapeutic and healing for the body? Does anybody want to, I can't see who's on the line tonight, so does anybody want to take a stab? And you can, I think you can unmute yourself and give me some benefits of cilantro. What do you know about cilantro? I'm going to take a sip while somebody is bold enough to chime in and tell me what they know about cilantro. I'll wait. Pulls heavy metals out of the body and the blood. That's one of the top things. It definitely pulls heavy metal out of the blood and the body. Now let me tell you something. You're going to need significant amounts of cilantro to be able to do that because you've lived your life, which means that your organ systems are carrying heavy amounts of toxins, especially if you don't do daily regimens or seasonal regimens of detox. If you don't detox normally, you've never detoxed, then think about all the trials and tribulations that you have put your body and your organ systems through. So you would need a significant amount of cilantro over a over a long period of time to be effective in pulling those toxins out of the blood and the organ systems. What was I going to say? Now, when I talk about pulling this, using cilantro as a detoxifier, in what ways would you use it? Well, of course, obviously, drinking it in a drink is not going to be a detoxifier. I mean, it's good to the system right then and there. But if you're drinking gin every day and you're adding cilantro and you're saying, I got my herbs in today, you got your alcohol in today too, and every day. And I don't think that's going to work. This is just a treat. This is a treat, right? This is not an everyday drink. This is a treat. But if you wanted to use cilantro in your everyday life, what's a good way to consume cilantro? Should you just pick a piece and just chew on it? What does that do for the body if I'm chewing, if I'm just picking a piece of cilantro and I'm chewing on it? Somebody, give it to me. Juice it. Juice it is a great way, Jackie Racky. The juicing is a great way of detoxing the body. You can add, a bunch, a handful, depending on how much you're juicing. Just throw that in. Now, I want to say this too. You have to be mindful about your mixture. So people think that when you juice, that everything goes together. Certain combinations taste good, but they don't digest well. So you want to make sure that you're using the right combination to have the greatest effect on the organ system and the digestive system. So you want to make sure your combinations are right. So, just do a little research before you begin your juicing thing, because some people like to put everything in the juicer. And I'm just like, dude or sis, like you just defeated the purpose and wasted a bunch of fruits, because your body's not going to digest that well at all. You're just going to pee it out. Now you'll poop it out, you'll pee it out, but it's really not going to affect your body system the way it needs to, because you didn't have the right food or you didn't have the right food or fruit combination or vegetable combination. So not everything, just because it's a vegetable, everything doesn't go together. So you want to make sure you have the right combination. Does anyone know what fruits or vegetables work better or best when you're working with cilantro? Helps kidneys is a great one. Lowers blood sugar. That is also good, but the kidneys. Let's hone in on the kidneys. Cilantro is a great detoxifier for the kidneys, as was said earlier. So if you want to focus in on maybe a 3-day intentional organ target, you can target your kidneys. And then you need to find combinations of certain things, fruits, vegetables, fruits, vegetables, and herbs to figure out which combination is going to target that organ system instead of just juicing haphazardly. I mean, you can juice haphazardly, but my gosh, if we're going to juice for health, let's be healthy and mindful about it. Let's be intentional about where we are targeting our health. So I would suggest that you use, do an organ every, I like 3s, 5s, and 7s. I like sequences of 3s, 5s, and 7s. Some organs require a little bit more time. So sometimes you may have to target an organ system for 21 days, and then you give it 21 days of rest. Any organ system that you target, when you target it, give it the same amount of rest. Don't keep overdoing it and spinning its wheels, because you will tire it out and it won't work. It's just like plants. If you overuse plants and herbs, they just won't work for you. They'll become numb to your system, and you won't get the most benefit from the plant itself. You won't get the highest effect of any medicinal properties from that plant. So make sure that when you're using herbs, especially detoxifying herbs, that you are targeting specific organs of the body or organ systems. Is there anything else about cilantro that besides guacamole that you like about cilantro? Have you used cilantro in any other dishes or meals? Do any of you eat cilantro? You can just pick it and just chew it and eat it. Gives your body a really good sublingual effect. It's also like parsley. It's a great breath freshener. You smell that? It was good, wasn't it? It smelled like cilantro, didn't it? Yeah, that's because I was chewing on cilantro leaves. You really couldn't smell that, could you? You did? It didn't smell good? It smelled good. Yeah, I brushed my teeth before. I'm going to take a sip. You should too. This is a good drink, y'all. I might make it for y'all. If y'all come on up to the bar and get you a free drink, I might make you one. Come on up here. Come on, your ticket's still good. The night's young. There are no kids in the club tonight. And this is the last stripper we have for the month. You know, if you've tuned in for the past week, I call my plants, my herbs, they're strippers. And they come to the stage. And tonight, I don't know if I hope y'all brought bigger bills than ones, because look how sparse she's looking. She needs some help. Y'all gonna have to, you can cash app her. She takes cash app. She's gonna need some help getting some stage clothes, because she's naked. I done made her naked. I'm sorry. I apologize. That's why I went to the store and bought a handful of cilantro, because I would have taken all of her, and then what? What? Huh? I've been like a colonizer, just taking it all. And I don't want to be like a colonizer. Okay, that's a sidebar. Never mind. Take a sip. So let's get back to the benefits of cilantro. What else have you found on cilantro that you see? Does anybody know the spiritual uses of cilantro? Oh, let's talk about that. Google it, and I'll tell you if you're right, because Google is not always right, baby. Google it. What are the spiritual uses for cilantro, or the spiritual significance of cilantro? Does anyone know? Does anyone know? Does anyone know? Anybody know? Nobody? Nobody? Nobody knows the spiritual uses of cilantro? My shoulders sigh. No one knows. Well, y'all gonna know. Y'all gotta know. I'm not gonna even tell you, because I think you should look this up for yourself. I can't just babysit you all and give you all the answers. What kind of stuff is that? Take a sip. Go back and see if you can find the spiritual significance or the spiritual uses of cilantro. And if cilantro is your ally plant or your affinity plant, if you're not sure, ally or affinity means that the plant has attracted you to it for a specific reason. Whatever plant that is, it doesn't have to be cilantro. It could be any plant. Those of you who know me know that cottonroot is one of my ally plants, and I'm attracted to it for specific reasons, but for more reasons for my granny. But plants that you're attracted to, they have spiritual uses and spiritual properties, and you should know why that plant has attracted you, and if you've learned your lessons. If you've learned your lessons from that plant, or if you are being more intentional about using that plant's energy in your life, then the plant will, it'll kind of leave your energy, your energetic field, and another plant will be attracted to. So plants come and go. Some plants will stay with you a lifetime. Sometimes people have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ally affinity plants. So you can be attracted to, more than one plant. It just doesn't have to be one plant. Were there any comments? Did anybody find? Did anybody look up? Did anybody say anything about finding anything on cilantro, the spiritual uses? So what? Who? Heart chakra. I was hoping somebody was going to say heart chakra. So cilantro is known as one of the heart chakra herbs. If you're familiar with the chakra system, I'm sorry, I got really excited about that. But cilantro is connected to the heart chakra, and it is also connected to the clairvoyance of the heart. What is it that you know with your heart versus what is it that you know with your mind? You know, there's two different trains of thought, how you feel and what you think. And so cilantro is connected to how are you feeling or what have you felt, and using the energy of clairvoyance to see more into your own heart center. It may be about you tuning in to love yourself more. I said that at the beginning. Learning to love yourself more, and this reset period that we are all in could be a focus on that. If you've been eating a lot of guacamole lately and you like it with cilantro, you may want to step back and ask yourself, what is it about the guacamole you really like? Is it the avocado? Is it lime? Or is it the cilantro? Cilantro could be talking to you. I'm just saying, you never know. You gotta think outside the box. Everything's just not always, right there in front of your face. You gotta go deeper. You gotta dig deeper. That's a song from you gotta dig a little deeper. Where does it come from? That's from animated. I've got grandchildren. I've watched a lot of Disney over the years. So I know that song from somewhere. Okay, sidebar. I'm gonna take a drink. What else about cilantro do you know, or have you discovered in just your Google moment? What else have you found out about cilantro? Anything else? Anybody want to add anything to the pot for cilantro? How's your drink, Mr. Ken? Cool, refreshing on the front, and a little kick on the back. All right. I'm telling you, I'm going to make this for some of you. Some of you who stay around the club a little bit longer, you come up to the bar, I'm going to make this drink. I've got plenty of stuff. I can make it for you. Anything else? Anybody else chiming in on cilantro? Health benefits? Anything? No? Okay, that means you probably got it. I want you to take some time and incorporate cilantro into your everyday diet. If you have a plant, go ahead and put her in a pot. If you don't have any yard space, do a little urban garden and put her in a pot and put her on the back porch. She likes shade. She likes about 3 to 6 hours of shade. If you put her in the sun, I said she was delicate. If you put her in the sun, she's going to shrivel up. She doesn't like a lot of heat. She likes warm weather, but she doesn't like a lot of heat. She prefers shade. So if you have a shady spot in your yard and you can do cilantro, or you can do it inside by a window that has some sun, and then you put her out, do that. But she prefers shade. She will flourish better in shade. About 3 to 6 hours of shade. I do encourage each and every one of you to go back and watch our Herbal Happy Hours from the past 4 weeks. For the other herbs that we featured, they are all common house herbs or kitchen herbs that are easy to grow. You don't have to have a green thumb. One of my friends says, I have a black thumb. And I was like, no, you don't have a black thumb. It's just energy. Plants grow it's about energy. It's about energy. So maybe it's your energy. Maybe you got to do a little shift, and then maybe the plant will grow. I suggest that you start off with these common herbs. So we featured tarragon. We featured rosemary. We featured cilantro. We featured mint. Oh, the mint was good. We featured, I'm forgetting tarragon, mint, rosemary, cilantro. I feel like there's another one. Sage. How can I forget sultry sage? She was the first runner-up. So 5 herbs we featured for the month of April that you can grow in your home and make it a part of your everyday life. If you're cooking if you're a cooking novice or you just cook because you have to, these are herbs that you're commonly using. If you check the back of your seasoning bottles, you'll find these herbs, most of these herbs, in your seasoning. So why not have the plant and see how the plant grows and watch its development? There is nothing more rewarding than cooking and being able to go and pick off your own stuff and put it in your food. It adds a certain level of love. It also adds a little bit of mystique because you feel real good when you're adding your own herbs and you're cooking with your own stuff. So I would advise or really highly suggest that all of you start with those 5 herbs and see how it goes. If you have any questions or if you need an assistant, you can definitely send us an email or you can leave a question or comment on any of our social media platforms. Next month for our Seed, Soil, and Soul podcast, we are going to have Urban Gardening 101, and we have a badass brother who's going to be bringing us the business of how to garden urban style. It's not easy, but he's going to show it to us in some easy ways for some basic food. Food sovereignty is important. And if you can't grow, if you can't produce, if you can't make anything, you are stuck like Chuck and dependent on the rest of the world to give you exactly what you need. You better start growing, producing, and making something, even if it's not food. Be able to barter, be able to trade, be able to be of value to yourself and your community as a whole. I think that's all we have tonight, unless you all have some questions. I'll most certainly take those if you have questions. But if not, for those of you who have tuned in late to this Herbal Happy Hour, I'm your host, Angelique Sobande Greer. I'm the visionary and founder of the NCB School of Herbalism and Holistic Health, the oldest African-American herbalism school in the South, going on 25 years now. So I'm thankful to God and goddesses and ancestors for putting the vision and implanting me with the spirit of following and doing my work. I'm also the visionary and founder of Sacred Waters Retreat for Women of Color and the Afro-Botany Immersion Conference and Certification Program in beautiful Costa Rica, where I need to be right now. If you are not following us on any of our social media platforms, do me a favor. You can go to YouTube and subscribe. That way when new videos drop, you'll hear the bell. And we're on IG, Twitter, and the Book of Faces. So you can get us on any 3 of those platforms. You can find us. If I can be of service, please let me know. I always say this at the end of all of my sessions. Remember to extend your compassion right now, especially right now, at a point past yourself. Extend your level of compassion past yourself. My example is that I've been cash apping random people $5 for the last 45 days. Just sending $5. You never know how that's going to change someone's life. I have water, I have lights, I have income, and I'm safe. I'm not at home with a crazy person. I'm not in a domestic violence situation. I'm not being molested or being the molestor. I am in a safe environment with safe people. But there are so many people under these conditions who are not safe. And that $5 could be a bag of beans and some rice for their children. It could be a case of water. I don't know what it could be, but I know that I had to extend my compassion past my own comfort level. So do what you can for the people in and around your community. Remember to love on yourself and love on those who love you back. Love on your enemies too, because they need some love. That's why they're enemies, because they ain't got no love. Love on them too. Send them some good energy. Be intentional about everything that you manifest in your life. And I will see you next month. We will put out the dates and the times for our monthly Herbal Happy Hour, and we'll feature something good. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'll even cook something to go with the herbal dish. Don't hold me to that, because I just prefer to really just do the drinks. Take a drink. That's what they said. I heard somebody say take a drink, so I'm going to do that. Thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of your evening. A really, really good weekend and a really good May.